DCEU moving forwards, right? Now that we know to some degree that we know that David Zaslav, at least according to Sil and to Mikey Sutton of Sil Nation, it looks like Snyderverse is being restored, and we're dealing with the Snyderverse timeline, and we're heading towards uh, possibly Final Crisis sort of like storyline. Um, okay, so uh, bear in mind that David Zaslav, he seems to be moving towards, because of the different movements that Warner Brothers Discovery has been doing with respect to the DC properties in terms of theater. We seem to be seeing a movement in terms of theater. We seem to be seeing a movement. Uh, I mean, it's preliminary, and most of it's based on rumors, but we seem to be seeing a movement towards uh, Batman being in, the Flash. He's going to be in the Flash. I'm talking about Batfleck, right? Batman being in the Flash. Batman being in Aquaman. It's two movies we know in the upcoming slate Batman's going to be in. And of course, the question is, will Henry Cavill also be in some of these upcoming movies? That's the question, right? There's some people believe that Henry Cavill's Superman is going to be in The Flash. We know The Flash has had some additional photography done early this year. And just to sort of just touch on Ezra Miller for the moment. Ezra Miller, we're hearing all kinds of stuff in the media about Ezra Miller. For whatever reason, he seems to be making headlines. But most of it is not validated information, right? So I'm not really bothered about Ezra Miller. I think he's a hell of an actor. Definitely, he stole the show in Justice League. I think is the greatest performance I've ever seen in comic book cinema history was the Flash turning back time. And they kind of hinted to it as we were progressing into the movie, but clearly the greatest performance I've seen on theatrical screen was the Flash, turning back time. So, Ezra Miller's stock is so high, even though, that these reports are coming out about him. His stock is so high. We have to see how he performs in the Flash movie and what kind of movie the Flash movie would turn out to be. And yes, Zack Snyder got us all amped for the Flash movie. We were like all stoked for it. Andy Muschietti, when we kind of started to see the outfit and costume, it kind of matched up to what the Flash costume was supposed to be. And Andy Muschietti as David, what's the guy's name for Shazam? David, if you know the guy's name for Shazam, please mention the name. But David, I can't remember what his name is right now in the background. I know it begins with L. But he also stayed very consistent to the Snyderverse. He is not. He's even pulled back, harking back to BVS. Sandberg, not L. David Sandberg has been very consistent. So it wouldn't be surprising if Andy Muschietti stays very consistent to the Snyderverse. Of course, he had a certain mandate with the previous regime as to where the direction of the universe was supposed to go. So they were going to phase out sort of like the Snyderverse. Not to say the Snyderverse doesn't exist. They're not going to do that. What WB was going to do was kind of focus on another universe. And the universe they were looking at would have had Batgirl in it, and the advisor, the mentor to Batgirl, would have been oh, God damn it, Batman 1989 Batman. That's what I'm trying to say. But for some reason, his name doesn't ring a bell in my head. I can't even remember. Burton's Batman. All right. So we were going to go kind of across, possibly to the Burton universe. I think that's what was kind of going to happen. And Commissioner Gordon would have been in that universe. It was an alternate reality. I think this is what they were trying to do the multiverse thing and shift across to there. Hold on a second. So I'm kind of in the middle of lunchtime, and so I have some food. You guys can't see, but I'm gonna try and show you. Oh, it's hot, straight out the pot, and it will not allow me to do so. If I could, I'd show you. Let me see. So I don't know how nice this looks, but it's got chive, tomatoes, lentils, rice. I got thyme. I don't know if you guys know what thyme is. I have something called shadow benny. It's a seasoning in here, and I also have pimento peppers inside of here. So it really is nice. It's a vegan diet in that there's no animal products in this diet. So I eat mostly vegan. Even though I do eat meat, it's not a big deal. But I mostly eat vegan. Okay, so yeah, so they would shift across to other universes. This is basically what the Flash would have been able to do. Make you sort of he was going to go on a journey through different universes, I guess, and meet different Flashes. So that's I think what the Flash movie's about. It's not like Flash Paradox, but it's something like it, a version of it, which is why Jeff Johns had a piece to play in that movie. Um, yeah. Now, the Flash is always evolving as a character, so the Speed Force might look blue, but then maybe it turns yellow, red, whatever. So I'm somewhat interested in the Flash now, seeing the direction David Zaslav is going, seeing that they're doing the reshoots and making sure it's a quality product that comes out. Let me make something abundantly clear, because you guys will see Wonder Woman right now as the profile picture for this particular stream that I'm doing, right, with you guys. The reason why I have Wonder Woman as a profile picture of the screen that I'm doing here is because I want to talk a little bit about Patty Jenkins, what makes her so good, and I also want to talk about the different directors who will be directing some of these films. Black Adam is the upcoming film that DC is going to be pushing. DC Films, the DC Studios, which right now I think it's Mike DeLuca who's kind of overseeing DC Films right now. It's not Walter Hamada. Walter Hamada, even though this is Walter Hamada's baby, sort of like, it's really now Mike DeLuca who has taken over DC Studios, and so they're going to be, if they haven't already, they're going to be doing some changes to Black Adam to improve it. As David Zaslav was saying, the films look great, they're terrific, but they want them to be better. So they're trying to work on getting them better, which is great. Let me make it abundantly clear to a lot of people. I've never been against any director. Okay? I'm not against directors. Warner Brothers is supposed to be a director-driven studio or company. And the fact that right now they have Alan Horn there is a really big plus. He's been an asset. Alan Horn has been an asset for DC. He's been an asset for Disney. Okay? That's a guy that allows for creative freedom, and if you can persuade him that your movie is good, and then once the movie's up to a certain standard, guaranteed he doesn't have to agree with you, but if you make your case, he's going to greenlight it. That's how the way Alan Horn works. So he really allows for the best, the maximal productivity from a director. Okay, so this is a very good thing that Alan Horn is there. Now, as to the fact that Mike DeLuca is the guy right now who's kind of temporarily taken over DC Studios for the moment. Walter Hamada is pretty much out of work. Forget about him. He's not in this equation. He's going to leave after Black Adam. Black Adam, I think, has the capacity and the propensity to be a success if, and only if, and if The Rock doesn't realize this, he better. only if Henry Cavill's Superman and the Justice League are actually somewhere in that movie placed. Okay, they don't necessarily have to be part of the main story, but they definitely need to be part of the movie. And we can't do that post-credit scenes. We're not Marvel. DC films should not have post-credit scenes. Okay, it should be part of the movie. I seriously think that uh, Black Adam could become a tremendous success by tapping into the Snyderverse. I mean, big time. I mean, setting up something for the future for the Snyderverse. That would be the price of admission for Black Adam. Now, it's a different director, so we don't expect the film to have cinematography like Zack Snyder. We expect it to be in its own world because Condor is its own city and its own world. So we don't expect Black Adam to look anything like something that's in the DCEU. And I know for a fact that it's not a part of the DCEU because they have the Justice Society of America, which, not America, Justice Society, JSA, is it JSA? I don't know what it is. But it's a different Justice Society, which means I would be interested in seeing how this all ties together. If this is an alternate timeline or what is this, right? But ultimately, in the end, he's going to have to clash with Shazam, and he's going to have to clash with Superman. And what better way to sort of just hint at it, or even to sort of leave, you know, what do we call it? Leave little hints at it anyway, or even pronounce it sort of like so you know, the showdown is going to happen. By hold on a second. I think no, I think that's no, that's something else. Okay, what better way than to link to the Shazam, David Sandberg Shazam, in some way, shape, or form, and also link to the Justice League, especially through Superman, somehow, some way. Whether he has the knowledge of Superman, somehow, some way, in the story. If the fans know that shit is going to be a melting pot that's going to come up down the road, crazy. Now you have a Superman movie, Superman solo movie somewhere in there later on. Because I always believe it doesn't make sense for Justice League 2 to come, or Final Crisis, or whatever they want to do. And Superman, we haven't seen the Superman that has evolved a lot more. Like Henry Cavill was saying, he wants Superman to evolve a little bit more in the sense that see the Superman for who Superman is. How you guys know Superman as before he goes evil, before he gets to come to the anti-life equation. I think I agree with Henry Cavill on that. 100%. So I know David Zaslav's heavy on the Trinity. I have a feeling there's going to be a Batman movie. There's definitely going to be a Wonder Woman movie. There's going to be a Superman movie. Those movies are going to come. The fans have been asking for a Superman movie for the longest while. Hopefully we get it. Leroy Khan, what's up? Leroy Khan says we need to start. I think we're getting it. I think we're getting it. And as Sil said, smash that like button. Show me some love. As Sil said, so correctly, David Zaslav picked the Snyderverse, and in addition, if you look at a series of movies that are upcoming, The Flash was supposed to happen in the Snyderverse. If you look at the original roster of DC films, the Flash was supposed to come uh, after Justice League 1. And then I believe Aquaman was supposed to come, and then Justice League 2, or something like that. And I think that's the way they're going to go about it. Okay? A little bit about directors. While a lot of people are attached to Rick Famuyiwa, Andy Muschietti is a good director. Okay? And clearly he loves Zack Snyder's stuff. He just came at a weird time in DC's continuity. I think that, only speaking as a fan, I think he'd be very comfortable staying in the Snyderverse, the real Snyderverse, and carrying that continuity to the completion. Even though opening the door for other stories, the spin-off of that continuity. So, of another continuity, sorry. And getting people interested in that. But I think what the last regime did that made us fans sort of ticked off about them is they kept on giving us stuff we didn't ask for and we didn't want. Up to recently there, Variety posted something really stupid. Not to say it's not interesting, but it's still really stupid. Bloodsport versus Superman. They want to see that. Bloodsport starred in a Suicide Squad film that flopped. Right? How on earth would we, as fans, don't forget to smash the like button, people. Please show me some love. Please do that. I know we have to always ask you guys, so I'm going to ask you again, because you're watching the content. If you like what you're seeing, don't forget to smash that like button. If you don't like what you're seeing, don't smash the like button. Show me some hate. That's okay. Love, hate, subscribe, as my boy would say. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is that the Justice League movie that came out showed us what. I'm not worried about the directorial, how different directors direct the movies. My thing is that we have direction, we know where we're going, and we know where it's hitting up to. As fans, we want to know that. Yeah, Bloodsport versus Superman. Nobody wants to see that. Everybody wants to see Darkseid versus Superman, right? That's the most powerful guy other than Doomsday that gives Superman hell. Doomsday didn't even make it to a day old. Doomsday wasn't even a day old. Doomsday fought Superman a night. He was made that night, and he got so powerful in one night. Doomsday was that powerful. Just imagine if Doomsday stayed longer. He'd have destroyed the whole planet. So, Doomsday is super powerful, as we realize. Any version of Doomsday. All he's born to do is kill. Right? That's all Doomsday is born to do. Destroy. Back to my point. So, Zaslav understands that. He don't want no minor character, no B character, upstage and everything, and facing Superman. When we talk Superman, let's talk about the names of the major villains of Superman. Lex Luthor, Metallo, Brainiac, Doomsday, Darkseid, right? We haven't seen Superman versus Brainiac on the big screen. We haven't seen Superman versus Metallo on the big screen. We've seen Superman versus Lex Luthor, right? So my point is, the last regime was giving us stuff we didn't want. We didn't ask for as fans. That's where Marvel shines and DC comes short. Now imagine, Batman hasn't gotten a solo movie yet, but you're going to give a solo movie to Batgirl? Superman hasn't gotten a story yet. Another story, but you're ready to put up Supergirl. That's ass backwards, man. I think the directors would do a much better job if they had a direction in which they were moving towards the Snyderverse for now. A cohesiveness, not something to veer away from the Snyderverse into some other universe, which is what the previous regime was trying to do. They were like, we're not trying to get rid of the Snyderverse. Of course you're not trying to. But what you're really trying to do is move off into another universe and not deal with the Snyderverse. So you're not killing off Batman, but you're veering off in a different pathway where that Batman is no longer relevant. Now, with respect to the directors, I want to specifically speak about Patty Jenkins. Patty Jenkins is a hell of a director. But the one thing Patty Jenkins is not great at, and she knows it, is action. She's not great at action. Okay? When she was coupled with Zack Snyder, at least his action crew, and they did grounded stuff. It wasn't CGI, no CGI involved, just grounded stuff. It was terrific. It was tremendous. It brought out so much we had never seen before on the screen. It's a very special movie, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman 84, Patty Jenkins took it upon herself. Separate from Zack Snyder. She's still doing the story with Jeff Johns to some degree. She had her own ideas. She said Jeff Johns back off certain ideas. And she made the movie she wanted to make. But Patty, while she can give a good story, she's not a story writer. And she's definitely not somebody who deals with action. And when you're dealing with Wonder Woman, a movie like that, a superhero like that, it's going to have action. Now, aside from the plot holes and stuff in the story, I think people would have used that a lot more if the action was tight. No matter what tribute she's trying to give to the late Richard Donner, no matter what tribute she was trying to give to him, it was very important that she executed that perfectly. And she didn't. And you miss one step, you miss in one way, and that cheapens the movie. So, she should have had expert action people, coordinators, etc., to do the action in her movie. And I think Zack Snyder's crew could have made it so that what she wanted looked, as they say, sexy, looked good. Even though she was striving for one thing. So that was one of her shortcomings. I think the biggest shortcoming in Wonder Woman 84. I think people could have excused the story, which had a lot of plot holes. But what they couldn't excuse was the action. That combination was just terrible. It made for a terrible movie. She'll be coming back to do Wonder Woman 3. And I believe Warner Bros. Will still give her the creative freedom to do whatever she wants with the movie. But I do very strongly suggest that she ensures her action is tight. And whatever story it is that she's doing, she better flush that story out, because the standard of Wonder Woman, the very first movie she did, Wonder Woman 84, did not hold up to that standard at all. And she has to, as David Zaslav said, it has to be better. That the third one has to be better than Wonder Woman 2017. Has to be. So maybe she has someone write the story for her. The idea she has in her head. Whoever it may be. And then run it by Zach with respect to action. Zach can help her a lot with action. Whatever it is she's trying to bring out there. And he may even be able to bounce back and forth some ideas with her so she can flesh out her story properly. Because I truly believe that when directors coordinate with each other and sort of work with each other, I think it helps out better. It brings a better product. So that's my point with Patty Jenkins. I think she's a hell of a director. Monster was a hell of a movie. Again, she took a wicked, evil person and personalized them and made them human and flushed them out. I mean, that's her thing. Her thing is, being able to flush out relationships, flush out the humanity of a person, in spite of how brutal they may be. And I think that's her strength, and that really adds dimension to movies. It doesn't have to be romantic, but she's good with that. Now, so Patty needs to know what her strengths are and what her weaknesses are when doing a movie, and she should be fine. Particularly with story, you need to make sure the story is properly flushed out. The last time she did Wonder Woman 84, that story wasn't properly. It felt like the movie was rushed. Like they rushed to make that movie or something. There was so much sloppy stuff in there. Now the relationship between Diana and Steve Trevor, that was probably the shining light in the whole thing. But it was still not the best, stuff we've seen. Now, I'm saying this to say, going forward, depending on what happens with Black Adam, we'll know. But going forward, I'm hoping that we get more, you know, flushed out, much more deeper story. I don't care if it has comedy or not. Just give me more flushed out story. Trying to get the comment section to come up. My phone is in a tremendously bad state, so it's going to be challenging to do a lot of things on this phone. Leroy Kong said, yes, great live Superman, Batman, or Wonder Woman, yes, need to be brought back. Absolutely. In movies. And David Zaslav is committed to that. Focus on the Trinity. In fact, everybody's talking about in Wonder Woman 3 having maybe Superman and Batman show up in there somewhere. We don't know. It doesn't matter to me. What matters is Wonder Woman 3 is building towards what? You know? Maybe Batman is in the world at the time. It depends. You see, it depends on what period of time we're watching a Wonder Woman 3. If it's a period of time when Bruce is alive, this is a period of time when Bruce is a child, he's not Batman yet. You know, it could be interesting. So, if it's in the present time, then all that would be interesting. It could be a continuity of what Wonder Woman did after Justice League, after the fight against Steppenwolf. It could be that too. You know, it depends. I know directors are going to try to see how far they can stretch the universe and see what they can do inside the universe and how successful they could be in it. So there's all that. You will notice that in Hollywood they're pushing a lot of women leads now since Wonder Woman, you know, and Captain Marvel. Again, I don't have a problem with that, but I do have a problem when you're trying to force it down our throats. I do have a problem with that. So I think they should try to figure out the environment and the fans that watch the movies and what the fans are asking for. You know? One more thing. And then I'm out of here. I've seen that and we still should be pushing for this, restore this microverse. But I've been on Twitter, been on Facebook, sharing stuff, and I've been Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, right? That's basically it. I don't do Instagram and TikTok. I don't do those two, but I'm on the others. And from what I see, the Snyderverse, it's because of us. We've gotten this far to start with, and we've been the vocal ones. But I've seen that there's been like shills trying to kick back and trying to, you know, try and engage us in some way, form, in some sort of war or battle. These same shills talking about, getting Batgirl back into circulation. That's a done deal. Maybe we get to see it on Blu-ray, but that's a done deal. Unless they push hard for it, like we did for the Snyder cut. And even then, the Snyder cut was a totally different story. The whole circumstances behind it was different. Air cut's the same thing. It's a different circumstances behind why we wanted to see these cuts. It's because these movies actually came out, but the studio had tampered with them. It's much different. There's a lot. There's many, 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 many projects that never saw the light of day for various reasons, whether movie or television. Okay, so animation or live action. So I mean, just because Batgirl was in post production doesn't mean they can't cancel it, and they know why they were canceling it. We know why they were canceling it as well, as fans of the Snyderverse and wanting the Snyderverse. We know why it's canceled. Still went into in detail. I spoke about it a little bit, and quite frankly, no tears lost on that one for most of us, right? Uh, I didn't even know there was a Batgirl movie coming up. You know what I mean? Like I was totally not in tune with that. I was not interested in that. Some people were interested, but not enough. And the whole point behind it is, um, you know, the way the Flash movie was supposed to divert attention from the Snyderverse into some other universe that Hamada was trying to propose. And all these other movies were supposed to do that. That's why a lot of these movies were actually delayed so much and shelved, and there's all kinds of issues with them. It's because Hamada and his cohorts and Emmerich and all these guys was trying to sabotage Zack Snyder once again. They're just trying to sabotage Zack Snyder. They were trying to get the universe they wanted to mesh with Marvel so they could have a Marvel team up. This is the whole thing behind this, this whole supposed, you know, team up. They were trying to get. Hold on a second. They're trying to get they were trying to get the CW linked with the MCU. This is the way how they were doing it, and the reason they were doing it like that was because the CW has guys, Marvel directors and Marvel writers. So they were trying to merge the CW. If you look, the most recent thing that came out, Teen Titans, they actually had Teen Titans Go on in theaters. They were trying to get their TV stuff into movies. And if you listen to some of the fans out there, they were saying, so how is their streaming going to merge with their theatrical runs? Because that's their concern. Theatrical run will look separate and different to the streaming run. And if you do remember, they tried to take Ezra Miller and have him in Final Crisis cross over with the CW Flash, or whatever they call it, Arrowverse Flash, or whatever. So the idea was to get the people from the CW into movies or Marvel. If you notice, they're trying to recruit Marvel directors or guys from Marvel to direct movies because they're trying to eventually mash together Marvel and DC. This was the goal by Jeff Johns. All right, but it didn't work because it's a redundancy. The people who like the CW don't necessarily are not the people who like the movies in the cinema, or some of the people who like movies in the cinema don't necessarily like the CW. And for the life of Jeff Johns, he couldn't understand that. He doesn't realize the majority of DC fans who like the DC movies, or at least support the DC movies, do not watch the CW, period. They don't. So that is where he dropped the ball, and he has been majorly dropping the ball from since God knows when. and they're trying to sell toys and all of this bullshit because they think kids watch CW or whatever. But it never worked because you're not putting out good movies where, remember, the people who pay to see these movies are adults. They may have families and everything, but they're going to be entertained as well. They're not just going to. If the kids was nuts over the movies, sure, but so when they tried to make these family movies and blah blah blah, trying their best to be what Marvel is. Marvel's good at being Marvel. DC will never be good as Marvel when it comes to being Marvel. So I don't know why on God's green earth they felt they could use the Marvel model of movie making to make DC as big as Marvel and then do the crossover. It was never going to work. So what ended up happening is, whether it's Johns, the Snake Johns, or whoever, they were leaking stuff that DC was doing to Marvel. This is what was happening. That's why Kevin Feige ended up on set for what's his name? The guy who did Guardians of the Galaxy and the Suicide Squad, whatever his name is. His name slipped my mind. James Gunn. You ended up on James Gunn set. What are you doing in the Warner Brothers parking lot? And you the Warner Brothers competition? And everybody was like rolling their eyes like, I can't believe this shit is actually happening. Not to say that Kevin Feige was an enemy of DC, but we know for a fact, right? We know for a fact that these dudes ripped off stuff from DC. Batman v Superman was ripped off. The whole idea of Batman v Superman was ripped off by Marvel. And they did Civil War off of Batman v Superman. Then, where Iron Man got killed off in whatever it was, I can't remember which one it is because I don't follow Marvel. One of their big movies. That's a replication of Ben Affleck's Batman dying in Justice League 2. You understand? They were ripping off DC. They were ripping off what Zack and these guys came up with. So now Marvel has to form their own ideas and their own opinions, and these guys sabotage Zack and try to kill off his universe. It's backfiring on them radically because guess what? You're not producing. Not producing nothing. You got no vision. You got nothing to work towards. So you kill off your brand, feeding your enemy or your competition. Let's say your competition, your brand, saying that once you kill off your brand like that, then you're going to be able to merge with them. Marvel will be able to buy off DC. This is the whole point behind the whole thing, y'all. If y'all don't know. Okay? That was the end game. And it failed. Zaslav is there to build the DC brand. And he, like you said, protect the DC brand. And also make sure that the best quality stuff, not just a whole set of quantity of movies. One of the big mistakes they made was having Hamada do these low-budget films. They thought the low-budget standalone films was because this is what the critics said. They said DC needs to stop trying to have an extended universe and have low-budget solo films. So they took the critics' advice and they started doing that. And what happened? Flop after flop after flop after flop after flop after flop. Right? Their movies just kept flopping. So they wasn't making nothing off of none of their movies. None. The only one they made profit off was Shazam. And they put out some good money, especially for James Gunn's Suicide Squad, and it flopped. Because the fans was disgusted, and they wasn't going to waste their time, especially in COVID, to go out to see no damn movie. But meanwhile, Marvel movies were doing great. Meanwhile, Godzilla vs. Kong was doing great. Every other movie was doing great except for DC movies. Yeah? Because there was no excitement. The fans were disillusioned. And we're talking about DC fans was disillusioned. It wasn't just Snyder Cut fans. It wasn't just Snyder fans. And we kept on saying, time and time again, restore the Snyderverse. This is the only way out of this mess. They wasn't listening. Now Zaslav is doing it. Now we hearing these shills because they ain't getting paid no more, for their scoops. Now we hearing these shills talking about, oh, Justice League 2017 was as good a movie. I heard a shill on Facebook telling me, it's basically the same movie and stuff. And I was like, dude, shut the hell up. You either out of your goddamn mind or not. First of all, let's just go to the final battle, okay? Let's just talk about the final battle. The final battle in Justice League, the Joss Whedon cut. The Flash is running away from the fight, saving some unknown family, and he needs Superman to help him. And Superman went flying off as well. He's not even engaging Steppenwolf. He flew off to save some family. Versus the League engaged, fighting down Steppenwolf, saving Batman's life, fighting down Steppenwolf, and still failing because the Flash got shot by a parademon who really got good aim. I mean, he was hitting the Batmobile. That ninja he couldn't miss. This dude he hit the Batmobile. He hit the Wonder Woman blocked another shot where he didn't hit the Batmobile. And then I think he fired again and he blew up something. I can't remember. This dude can miss, and then he hit the Flash. Okay, this dude can miss. Batman killed him though. But the point is, because the Flash got hit, shit hit the fan. The mother boxes formed unity, and they exploded. It was about to purge the Earth. But the Flash, he besides him shifting and allowing the blast to go through him, the first blast at least, the initial blast, and then you see the whole universe, you see the stars and everything because the Earth's getting blown away. And you see the Flash, just a little bit of matter left. And you see the Flash start running back through time and reversing that explosion. That shit is incredible. That was the final battle scene, y'all. Then Wonder Woman chops off Steppenwolf's head as he's falling backwards into the boom tubes that Superman punched him through, which he was impaled by Aquaman stabbing him inside with his quadrant, right? Or quadrillion, whatever the fuck it's called. Quintendant. Okay. You see his head fall at Darkseid's feet. Darkseid crushes his head. Look, man, come on now. It's just a completely different movie. Steppenwolf actually wanted to get back home. He wanted to get back in the good graces of Darkseid, and because he found the anti-life equation, all of this shit wasn't in Justice League 2017, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Steppenwolf, and to get in good graces with Darkseid because he was banished, and he owed him 50 million worlds, or some shit like that. Okay? He owed him that. So he's banished. Kind of like, when they said 300 and something cycles of Semitic reconditioning for Zodin Day, which is like eternity. It was the same kind of shit. And the comparisons between Krypton, the Krypton technology and Apocalypton technology. Shit, man. Come on, man. Like, seriously, man. Like, seriously. Night and day, y'all. The reason why they needed to resurrect Superman is different. The way how they resurrect Superman, the fight after, and then how Superman actually got aware of who he was, and even the scenes with Lois and what was happening with Lois, how she was suffering, how she was in a depression. She hadn't even gone back to work. The story is a different story. At its absolute simplicity, it's similar in its through line, in its absolute simplicity. I mean, if you strip the story completely down, and I mean, it's different. It's different. Okay, you could say, okay, you could say that Batman recruited Aquaman, Cyborg, Wonder Woman, and Flash, and they went to save the day against Steppenwolf. Yeah, okay, that story is the same, but the details of it is just totally different. And even the context in which everything happened, and even the story changed. Just changing the sequence of things. The reason for something happening. I mean, we think of Cyborg story, and the reason for Cyborg finally, um, finally, even though it's risky, living up to and accepting who he was. When he said, "I'm not broken and I'm not alone," to the mother boxes, that was a build-up. It wasn't like how he's looking at his body and admiring his body at the end of Justice League, and Aquaman's swimming in the sea at the end of Justice League. No, the context is totally different because this guy went through the death of his mother, who we heard about it in Justice League, but we didn't see it. We didn't know how he was brought back in that Justice League bullshit that they did on the screen. We don't really see it. He explained it and gave you background into the mother boxes. He explained what the mother boxes were. We didn't even know what the motherfucking mother boxes were in that Justice League bullshit. We knew what it was. This movie told a story that was complete. That piece of shit called Justice League, which some of you guys like. I mean, maybe if you shit called Justice League, which some of you guys like. I mean, maybe if you switch off your brain, you can enjoy it. But that shit called Justice League it's just night and day. I know, because I just watched Zack Snyder's Justice League last night. It's night and day from this shit. Okay, and you remember I was one of the guys arguing that the version of Justice League that came out 2017, remember I was one of the guys who was saying that was Zack's vision and blah, 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 blah. I was saying that. And I only changed my tune when I realized, what the fuck is this? I saw the Superman inside of the ship with the blue suit, and you could tell Zack shot that shit, and he came out the ship and everything, and then he showed up with Alfred. You remember that, the blue suit? You remember they did the deleted scenes? And I was like, what the fuck was the Warner Brothers doing? This is so much better. And I was like, God damn it. And then you guys were saying, oh, there's a black suit. And I started looking for it. Because I remember Henry Cavill had teased before 2017, before Justice League came out, he had teased the black suit. Remember that, guys? Remember, he had on Vero, he had put up, not Vero, Instagram, he had put up, the suit on him. And I was like, God damn, we might get black suit Superman. Remember all of this? You remember how hype we were for Justice League in 2017? Do you guys even remember this shit? We was real hyped for this movie. So, I still went and watched the bullshit, the Justice League movie 10 times in the cinema. I went and watched it 10 times. That bullshit. I didn't deserve it, but at the time, I didn't know. There was something way better than that. I don't know why I didn't believe it. I don't know. I was stupid. I was so brainwashed. I was really believing Warner Brothers because, everybody was coming down on Warner Brothers and all kind of things. So I really wanted to believe them. And I fought all the way up to the last set of money, the last theater. I even went and supported in the theaters and everything. I was the guy that was doing that. And the guys who really knew Zack Snyder's stuff were saying, no, this is bullshit. And I snapped out of the Kool-Aid eventually, right? So I'm going to say it right here. They're not the same. There's nothing similar about the two movies. Some shots are similar because Zack Snyder shot certain shots, but the quality's not the same, right? Zack Snyder's Justice League is way, 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 way better than Justice League. The reason why the mother boxes even awoke. That stupid ass movie doesn't even explain that. Right? So, I mean, you can't even, it's not the same. They're not the same. So when a shield says that to you, just let them know. It's, what are you talking about? Have you seen Zack Snyder's Justice League? It's not the same movie. It's just not. It's not. In no way. And it's not just the dialogue scenes. It's not just the shots. It's the story. It's not the same. Okay? And anybody trying to fool anybody and say, oh, they put more meat on the story. No, 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 no. It's not the same, period. Okay? They like to say, well, he took the mother box from Atlantis. He took the mother box from Amazons, and then he took the mother box from the humans. Yeah, but how he did it, the manner in which he did it, what happened as a result of that, is not the same. And that's what they keep on, because in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and this is tremendously different. This is what makes the ending so different. The unity happened in Zack Snyder's Justice League, whereas the unity did not happen in Justice League. That's a tremendous difference. That's a divergent ending. It took the Flash running back through time to reverse everything, building up a charge to hit Cyborg to get into the mother boxes. Cyborg never went into the mother boxes in Justice League. Okay? And in Justice League, a boom tube opened all of a sudden. And everybody was like, how the fuck is this boom tube opening? Why is this boom tube opening? Well, we know now why the boom tube was opening in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Because Darkseid was coming. So, you know, just night and day. It ain't the same. So stop the bullshit. If you want to say on a basic level, the story line is the same, sure. But this is not the same movie. This is not the same movie. It is not. For people who've seen BVS and BVS Theatrical is the same movie to BVS, right? Because same director, of course. So same vision. Yeah, some things are in the wrong order, or, you know, the way how things happen, but more or less you can see that. Fucking Justice League is not the same movie. You could tell it's two different directions, two different visions, two different directions. And with Justice League particularly, it led to a different outcome. With Zack Snyder's Justice League, it is still leading towards Darkseid coming to Earth, and it's still leading towards an apocalyptic future. Because we saw Batman have the same dream. A version of that dream that he had in BVS. And remember, Cyborg also saw it in the Kryptonian ship. None of which was in Justice League. Okay? So, can we please stop with the bullshit that Justice League is somehow similar in some way, or, you know, has the same story as Zack Snyder's Justice League? They're not the same in any way. They're not. They got a couple shots from Zack Snyder. Okay, but other than that, they're not the same. Joss Whedon was trying to tie up the story and end it. Okay? Zack Snyder has it continuing onwards. Joss Whedon chopped out chunks of the story. Rearranged them to give a different narrative to what Zack Snyder was doing. And not the same movie. They're not. You might see things that look familiar, but they're not. If you look at how they're arranged, they're saying something different to what Zack was saying in his movie. Okay? And I'm surprised that, you know, people say this is the same movie. It's not the same movie. There's nothing. It's not the same movie. It's just not the same movie, right? And 4 hours long. The only reason why that movie is 4 hours long is because Zach took liberties. Seen people want. He knows the audience wants to gobble up what he wants, so he took liberties to take it to the nth degree, and put as much stuff as he could inside of it, because he knew the audience that was watching it appreciates his work. He's got a 5 hour version. I watch it. Shit, I watch a 10 hour version. I watched the 4 hour version last night. Last night. I've been watching this movie on loop since I got the digital copy. I've been watching this movie for a lot because, see, I'm catching up on what other people were able to see. They had the DVDs and whatever. I only have a phone, so I can only do digital copies. And my phone is not really in the best shape right now. My screen's messed up. It's a lot of things. But the point is that, I was able to do that. Okay? All right, we're coming close to 1 hour. I just recapped some stuff that probably we didn't need to recap, but I'm just going through it to say to you guys this, that we as fans fought through for 5 years. We fought through all this to get to this outcome, to get to this destination. And after all of this journey, it would be ridiculous for us to turn back now. So we're going straight ahead into the Snyderverse. I'm hoping Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 could come out soon, maybe 2024. Sil was saying maybe 2026. We don't know. We have to see what will happen first with Black Adam. So, depending on, I don't know if I'll go to see Black Adam in the cinema immediately, because I was interested in Black Adam, and then Comic-Con just totally, San Diego Comic-Con just totally got me disinterested in it. The news that I'm hearing and the way how David Zaslav is moving, I am somewhat getting remote interest in Black Adam, which is good. That's a positive thing. I'm still cautiously watching to see how it's progressed as a fan. Even though Sil and Sil Nation and Mikey and Sutton and all these other people are saying certain things, I'm keeping my own eyes open. I'm watching for myself. I'm not relying on anybody to give me information. I will see with my own 2 eyes, critically assess for my own damn self. And at the end of the day, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson needs Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill don't need Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, but Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, if he wants to sell anything, if he wants to do anything, he needs Henry Cavill. Okay? And Henry Cavill is the established Superman that we know in the movies. Okay? There's no other Superman in movies. Okay? Tyler Hoechlin is doing an excellent job. Again, sort of a build-off off of Zack Snyder's Superman, Henry Cavill, who started it all off. And Tyler Hoechlin's doing a great job from what I hear from Lewis and Clark, how their seasons are going. So that's good. I haven't watched a single inch of it. You guys are watching me like, what? But I heard he's doing a good job. I haven't watched anything, okay? It doesn't mean I won't binge watch it at some point. But right now, that's not my interest, right? My interest is solely and singly on the Snyder Cut. I haven't even watched Dune. I haven't even seen Dune yet, okay? And I also want to see Morbius. It looks like Morbius was a good movie. I definitely need to go watch Jared Leto's Morbius. But, yeah, as to, they talking about the Sandman out there. I haven't been following that. Netflix has always been great at putting out content. I think Daredevil's probably going back on Netflix or whatever. The MCU actually did well because they put their stuff on Netflix, which was good. They licensed out their stuff to Netflix, and that's something that I guess that David Zaslav could do with Netflix. I mean, have a nice relationship with Netflix as well. There's some good people who used to be in Warner Brothers who are over at Netflix now. So that'll be good. But me personally speaking, I think that so far, from what I'm hearing, it sounds like good news that David Zaslav is really about it. They really want to see the DC brand. They're very passionate about the DC brand having respect and getting back the respect it deserves. So that's a good thing. I just hope that Walter Hamada officially gets cleared out of there, and all that old regime and all those people of the old regime get cleared out of there. So we can have a fresh start and really get to really cooking. when it comes to DC properties. A lot of people said he's already out the door, but I just want to see him go. And then I want to see what Zaslav and they bring to the table. I'm very optimistic. I am very excited, but there's also a calm inside of me and a happiness and a contentedness that we are in the home stretch now. We're in the home stretch and we're running this race. I expect the tabloids, and I expect the media out there that never really liked Zack Snyder stuff or can't get the scoop on what Zaslav and they're doing to be very negative. But I really couldn't give a flying what about that. We're getting what we want, and this is what we wanted. I'm very happy for it. I do believe that the lady who is Batgirl, I don't think they canceled that project for her to just stay there in the wind without a project. I think they're gonna fix her up pretty well. From what I know, she may end up playing Batgirl still, but I believe when she does play Batgirl, people are going to go to the cinemas and actually watch it. It's not just going to be a product that comes out there. You know what I mean? So looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Leslie. What was her name? Leslie. Somebody help me out with her name. Leslie, whatever her name is, man. But shout out to her. She seems to be chilling. She's kind of cool about it. I think they probably going to have her do something. They're not going to just leave her in the wind. And I think they're going to have the cast do something as well, and just kind of reprogram in a new direction. People talk about David Zaslav, and Warner Brothers Discovery, being in debt and being deep in debt. Well, listen. While they are in debt and in reasonably big debt, it's typical of businesses to be in debt. The question is, what is your vision, and what do you do, not to just come out of debt, but to generate money? The problem with the DC brand was it wasn't generating that kind of cash flow, the money. They weren't doing great at the box office. So that is where they need to focus on, and David Zaslav basically said that's where they're focused on. That's where the bulk of their money comes from. So I'm looking forward to seeing. He says all the right things, man. David Zaslav says all the right things. I know he means it because he don't play. David Zaslav is a guy, give me results or you've got to go, baby. So the fact that they canceled Batgirl means Batgirl had to go. It just had to go. It's what it is. Nothing personal. They probably hired these people to do some other things, but as it is right now, it got to go. And anything you see getting canceled is because it's got to go. It's just occupying space. There is no real good vision or plan for it. So that's why those things are being removed. And quite frankly, I'm back in that. I'm like, why put out a movie that's dead on arrival? We saw what happened to Super Pets. One guy was arguing with me that Walter Hamada had nothing to do with Super Pets coming out in theaters, and I was like, you got to pacify Walter Hamada's desk. He got to okay it for it to go into theaters because Warner Brothers got to distribute it. And how do we know this? Walter Hamada and Toby Emmerich prevented the Snyder Cut from going into theaters both in China and also in the U.S. when COVID was happening. All right, they're the guys that had to sign off on any movie that's going into theaters that's under the Warner Brothers ban. It doesn't matter if it's Warner Brothers Animation Company or WAG. Okay, it doesn't matter. It has to pass by their desk. He's DC Films president. So the guy was trying to tell me it was WAG. I'm like, man, shut up, man. It's under Walter Hamada. And let me say something. Walter Hamada has been a big, huge failure for the DC brand. Under the DC brand, Toby Emmerich, Walter Hamada, Ian Sarnoff, all them other guys, they failed majorly, okay? And they know it. Why are they trying to hold on to their job? I don't know. Right? They should, man, after Zack Snyder's Justice League came out, they could have righted all their wrongs by saying, man, this thing needs to go into theaters, it performed, but instead they lied. They talked about Wonder Woman doing better than it and all kinds of shit. Put the damn thing in theaters. Didn't do that. People would have gone to the theaters. In COVID, they would have gone to the theaters to see this damn movie. That's how insane Zack Snyder's fans are. They're like insane about him. They love him. They love him. We love Zach, man. This is the kind of stuff we want. Zach brought us to. Zach brought us to love Superman, love comic books, to love comic book movies. Some of us back to comic books. I mean, this ain't rocket science, man. Once you say Zack Snyder and you say that there's gonna be a Justice League down the road, team up, and Zack Snyder's involved, everybody gonna go nuts. Everybody gonna lose their shit. I don't care what the media says because I don't give a damn about them. I'm focused on Zack Snyder. I'm focused on his stuff. They said all kinds of things about Army of the Dead. They said all kinds of things about Zack Snyder's Justice League before it came out. And it was trying to sabotage it and stuff. It didn't matter. Okay? It didn't matter. It doesn't matter what the critics say. It doesn't matter what none of them say. Okay? Man of Steel is rotten on Rotten Tomatoes. You think anybody gives a fuck about Rotten Tomatoes? Nobody gives a fuck. See, these critics. See, what happened was people used to depend on the critics. People used to depend on old media. People used to depend on those guys to be honest and have decorum, and so they can make decisions. Nowadays, nobody give a fuck about them because they have been proven wrong. They said the Snyder Cut didn't exist and all that shit, and it was proven wrong. And on top of that, not only are they proven wrong, but they're proven to have agendas. They're full of damn agendas. So at the end of the day, nobody gives a fuck. Their word doesn't mean shit anymore. And they don't even have scoops anymore. Okay? So I don't care about them. I couldn't give a less. I like what I like, and that's it. And I know there's a significant portion of people who like what I like. And there's more people coming around who like what I like. So why would I care about what they have to say? Right? We won. We got the Snyder Cut. We're winning again. We're getting the Snyderverse. Okay? So why are we even looking backwards? I would say this other thing as well. To the people in the Snyder Cut movement, whatever your agendas are, one of the things I like about Sil and even Zod Ryder, who over time now I realize, I debated with him on stuff already. Over time I realized he's a cool dude as well. Sil, Zod Ryder, Hamed, all these guys that they said was toxic or whatever the bullshit, and they was trying to excommunicate them. I wanted to say to them, hats off to you guys, man. You guys are cool dudes. You guys are good guys, and you guys don't do it for fame and fortune, even though you do want to get your money on here. I like you guys, man. You guys are cool. And for all the guys that rock with me, whether it's Leroy Kong, he's proven correct because Zaslav is thinking about the Trinity and team up and stuff. To my boy William Meir, the guys who we rock with each other from way back. I want to say kudos to you guys. You guys are genuine guys, man. When it comes to the Snyder Cut and Snyder Cut movement, I miss Fiona Zhang. I miss her a lot. I don't know what's going on with her, but she was one of the original, people, as well as restore the Snyderverse and restore the Snyder Cut. I mean, release the Snyder Cut movement. I see them still up on there, and it's kind of nice to see, somebody representing the brand. There's restore the Snyderverse and stuff. Y'all was the original people. Y'all was the genuine draft. Other people jumped in on the scene. I moved off the scene a little bit, when I was talking about, arguing about the Justice League and stuff. But, I was genuine though. I was genuine in my heart. I was trying to rock with Warner Brothers. You know what I mean? And realized they two-timing sons of bitches. At the time. So, I'm just saying. You got different people or different movements in this thing. Sorry about the F-bombs and stuff, but every now and then I've been vacillating in my faith anyway. But we're picking it back up. We're gonna do what we got to do. It's been nice talking with you guys, man. I spent like an hour, 15 minutes, 35 seconds talking with you guys today. No scoops, none of that stuff, because I don't do scoops. Sil does that, and Mikey Sutton, and I listen to them. And I advise you guys, if you don't know about them, go listen to them on YouTube, man. Just put it on 2x. So everything speeds up. If it's live, you could go about doing whatever you're doing in the day and turn the volume up and listen to them, man. It's cool, man. I mean, they're good peoples. And It's nice to see the Snyder fandom still. We still rocking together. You know, I Black Geka, what I can't remember her name. She's still rocking. Way back in the day, you know, we used to rock together. So it's really cool to see everybody kind of band together on social media. I never really seen you guys face to face, eye to eye. I mean, I've seen Leroy Kong. I've seen who else? I think I've seen my boy from Trinidad, Damian Anton Vincent. I've seen him. I rock with him. I've seen my boy who's a writer on here from shit. I forgot where is this? Denmark, I think it is. I forgot your name, bro. I see you all the time on Twitter, but my phone's bad. Like I can't even type properly anymore. I'm gonna get another phone. Don't worry. But my phone's bad. I got so angry one day I just smashed the screen. So my screen shattered, and so I can't type properly on my phone. But I still can do streams and a whole bunch of stuff. I can still see well. I can't see the cracks in the phone when I'm doing this. I can see myself right now, and but it is what it is. It's an old phone, and my cousin gave it to me. But I'm gonna be able to I'm gonna be able to stream and do more things in time. I've been planning, doing all kinds of things. I've been doing all kinds of things. So I'm gonna catch you guys later. We care, man. You know, the Snyder Cut movement. We really care, not just about movies, but we also care about people and their lives. Their mental health is okay. That you know, suicide prevention as much as possible. Don't forget to support the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention or any foundation for suicide prevention in your respective country. Let's try and save some lives. In addition, you know, be kind to people as much as you can in your daily life, in your daily living, even online, even when someone's really behaving like a total, I'm going to say this, I'm going to apologize in advance, a total and complete asshole online. Do always understand that you don't have to become an asshole yourself. You can also be kind and compassionate and sometimes just ignore the person, maybe block them or whatever, but don't engage in things which you know are caustic, negative, and toxic. We are not Snyder Cut fans. Most of them are not toxic. Okay, I've seen one or two that have been toxic, but for the most part, most Snyder Cut fans, we come from logic. We use reasoning. We use facts. We bring facts to the table, and we debate with people. And people call. I've been called an idiot like several times in my own group. A guy called me an idiot, and I was like, wow. I'm like, all right. But I'm just saying that you have all kinds. You have people who say they're Snyder Cut fans, but they're not. They're just in there to cause trouble and strife. And so just watch out for those dudes. You know, they would say, well, they was part of the Snyder Cut movement, but they really wasn't. Okay? So watch out for them. But other than that, I mean, it's been great. I can't complain. I've been very happy as a fan of Zack Snyder. Been watching, you know, Batman v Superman. Been watching Zack Snyder Justice. You know, I'm doing another video. I might even do it today. I know today's a planting day, so I just planted some lime trees, but I'm gonna plant some other stuff. I got planted some okra. Well, you guys know that okra. I got some garbanzo beans, aka chana. In my country, we call it chana, and so on. I got some stuff to plant. But anyway, man, people, it's nice having spoken to you. Shout out to my boy The Truth. I know they've been saying things about The Truth. I know they've been saying things about Leroy Kong. I know they've been saying things about different people on these social media groups. But you guys have been pushing, you know, restore the Snyderverse. We got to keep it going. Don't stop. Don't stop for nothing. I like The Truth. I subscribe to The Truth. I listen to him. He said some crazy shit too. You know, he cussing stuff like me, which is not good. I should stop cussing. But The Truth, man, I like that he tries to keep up with the stuff. I don't agree with everything he says, but I do know that at the end of the day, he is committed to restoring the Snyderverse. We got to keep on saying that. We have to shout it to the mountaintops. I believe somebody's birthday is going to be in next month, September. I think it's Ray Fisher's birthday. I hope, let me say this. I hope Ray Fisher gets a part in the Flash. I don't know if it will, but that would really make a huge difference. I'd be surprised to see Cyborg in there. I hope that happens. Because I know Ray's doing Rebel Moon right now with Zack Snyder, but I do have a feeling, well, I hope that he has a part in the Flash, because Cyborg and the Flash really get along really nicely. I really enjoy seeing them, in tandem with each other, man. You know, I remember Zack Snyder's Justice League. Flash is like, we could do this in like in like a fraction of a nanosecond, right? Cyborg was like, yeah. Then he says, you think, you think, you think, you think Wonder Woman would go out with a younger guy like me? And Cyborg looks at him like, well, Barry, she's 5,000 years old. Every guy's a younger guy. to me that was hilarious. How Cyborg just kind of said it, you know. And of course, Cyborg knows all of this because he tapped into the internet, found out all her information. You know, because she came up to him and she's like, "Oh, so you know about me?" And he was like, "More than you could possibly imagine." Cyborg's my dude. If you haven't realized, right? I like Cyborg. Yeah, Cyborg. The other part, which to me was really funny, was when so Wonder Woman speaking to Cyborg says, if you go into the mother box, these things are like millions of years old, and they'll find out, what's your weakness, and then they would destroy you, and you could die. And then he looks at her and he says, and if I don't, the whole world is destroyed. And so Barry's like, I think, and then he says, and he looks at her and he says, you want me to use my gifts? That's what I'm gonna do. That's the way he looks away. He kind of looks away from her, like, as if to say, that's what I'm gonna do. He's kind of, to me, as much as he's serious, kind of like in the matter of fact, I'm very serious about it's funny. It's a kind of funny scenario, and then you Barry with his crazy voice say, all right, so if he wants to go into the Doom boxes, let him go into the Doom boxes. It's just like the characters interplay with each other, and there's a bit of humor to that, as grave as the situation is, and as sincere as the characters are, it come across and then play off each other so very interestingly, And to me, that's more of that's the beauty of these. And why do I remember these lines? Why is it so memorable to me? Because I didn't memorize them, right? And it's just because it really fills my psyche. It's like something where you feel like you're getting downloaded. Stuff is downloading into your psyche, sort of like with his movies. That's what I like about his movies. It's these different characters, and literally these characters are building their characters as we watch them. We're watching them evolve in front of our face. And I think that's the fun with Zack Snyder's movies. All of his movies, his characters are dynamic. They're not staying at the same point in their development. They're constantly growing as the movie goes along. They're constantly becoming more cemented in their ways. Batfleck from the beginning of the movie he's going purely on faith that things will work out, right? And he's failing constantly, and he's failing. It's so hilarious. Alfred is reminding him that he's failing. It's not like Alfred. Alfred's not one of those guys that's like, yeah, I agree with you 100%. He's not like one of those butler guys, Like all the Alfreds we've ever seen, right? We've never seen such an antagonistic Alfred. And he's kind of narcissistic a bit and snide. He's always combative with Batfleck. He's always combative with Bruce Wayne. So he's like, oh man, here's so cold. The first thing, Bruce Wayne is coming back from a failure. He did not recruit Aquaman, right? And what does Alfred tell him? Maybe we can go. Maybe we can go to the Bahamas or the Fiji Islands. He's so antagonistic, man. Straight through the whole entire movie. He's to and fro with he's to and fro with Bruce non-stop. And those two, like they're deadpan faced while they're while they're while they're while they're roasting each other. It's like they seem to find great joy in roasting each other. That's and they're always nonstop debating with each other. I think that's interesting because it shows. I think it shows how because he says to him, he says, Alfred says to him after he's failed to fix the ship, the flying fox is burning up on him and stuff. He comes down and he says, so you succeeded in bringing the league together. You brought the team together. But this, these little box of tricks. You don't know what can happen. You don't know. He's once again challenging Bruce, constantly challenging him. You know, even in BVS, he's like, I don't deserve you, Alfred. No, sir, you don't. Just straight up roast. They just keep on roasting each other. He's like, even when Bruce goes back to his cave, right? Because he's saying, man, a man with man who broods in the cave, he can't, I don't expect him to recruit anyone, right? So he's in the cave, right, with Bruce. He's testing out the voice vocalizer or whatever, and so he says, new rules. And he throws the newspaper in front of Bruce, right? Oh my gosh, these guys, man. So yeah, one of the most interesting things about Bruce and Alfred is their back and forth. The non-stop banter between them, and I always find that very interesting because I've never seen that ever on screen. This is a new thing with Batman. Usually, Bruce and Alfred's like his butler. He's kind of like his mentor, his father figure, kind of like. And they don't really go back and forth like that. They kind of do, but not really. These two, they roast each other. It's a roast fest. Oh my God. Oh. Yeah, I remember also even when they're in the middle of combat, right? And Batfleck's his deflector is deflecting the parademon plasma rays from the plasma guns. And Alfred's like, it works. And he's like, not now, Alfred. I need the Nightcrawler. And he's like, all right, indeed. And he gets the Nightcrawler to him. And, it's like, thank you, Alfred. It's like, don't mention it. I just find it very interesting how Alfred's kind of gruffy, too. You can tell Alfred's military, and he kind of raised, Bruce in a sort of military kind of way, And you can see he kind of nurtured the Batman from Bruce, but he also tries to keep that Batman in check. So everything that Alfred's saying to Bruce, for example, is challenging him constantly. It's challenging him to make a decision, to make a choice, which is again, to me, it's a motif you see over and over in Zack Snyder's DCEU, where the hero has to constantly be choosing, making choices daily. I just find that very interesting, very interesting. Anyways, people, that's what I got for you guys. I am Christ, I am disciple. And in my journey so far, we just keep it moving. I'm going to catch you guys later. Don't forget that you can also donate via my PayPal, which I probably don't mention too much, but I will try and get it out there for you guys. We'll catch you guys later. Peace.